Welcome to this explainer. Every once in a while, a match comes along that just completely shatters the entire tournament narrative. Today, we're diving deep into the 2026 FIFA World Cup to unpack exactly that kind of game. We're looking way beyond the scoreboard to break down the sheer anatomy of a historic blowout. Germany versus Curaçao. This wasn't just a win, it was an absolute masterclass in tactical momentum. Let's get right into it.
7, 2, 1. Just let that sink in for a second. Going into this, sure, we all expected Germany to take the win, but absolutely nobody, and I mean nobody, predicted a scoreline of this massive, historic scale. It was literally the most dominant performance we saw in the entire tournament. But to truly wrap our heads around how we got to this staggering result, we kind of need to look past the final whistle and feel the pressure cooker of an atmosphere right before the match even started.
Because honestly, this was the ultimate David versus Goliath scenario. Think about it. On one hand, you've got Germany, four-time world champions, but they were under this immense, suffocating pressure to finally deliver a real statement win after a few pretty rough years. And on the flip side, Curaçao, a small Caribbean nation making their first ever World Cup debut. They were already living an absolute fairy tale just by stepping onto that pitch.
So, the stage is perfectly set. You've got the desperate giant facing off against the dreaming underdog. And when the referee finally blew that starting whistle, the tension in the stadium was just palpable. But as the players bolted into action, not a single person in the stands, or watching at home for that matter, had any clue that over the next 90 minutes, records were about to absolutely fall apart.
Okay, let's talk about the first half because it was just pure chaos. Right from kickoff, Germany came out swinging with this ferocious attack. By the 5th minute, boom, Felix Nmecha strikes, giving them the immediate lead. It honestly looked like the floodgates were wide open. But then, right in the middle of the half, Curaçao pulls off this shocking equalizer. They put up such a fierce fight before Germany eventually clawed back a strong grip on the game right before halftime.
To really understand how Germany initially suffocated Curaçao right after that very first opening goal, you have to look at their midfield. It was like a machine. They controlled the match across literally every metric. They had absolute ball possession, leaving Curaçao just chasing shadows all over the pitch. They were using pinpoint passing to slice right through the defensive lines, and their relentless high pressing basically trapped Curaçao entirely in their own half. But then, out of nowhere, we got the most emotional, heart-stopping moment of the whole match. Curaçao, who had been completely pinned back, somehow managed to launch this stunning, desperate counterattack. Against all odds, they drive down the field and score their first ever FIFA World Cup goal. Suddenly, the scoreboard is flashing 1-1. And for a few unbelievable minutes, the towering, terrifying German machine actually looked vulnerable. You really cannot overstate the sheer emotional weight of that equalizer. Like they said for the fans, this goal was literally no less than a trophy. The stadium absolutely erupted. It wasn't just a point on a board, It was this massive historic milestone that completely validated Curaçao's entire journey to the world stage. But, well, unfortunately for the underdogs, that fairy tale was about to come to a very, very abrupt halt. Actually, scratch that. It wasn't just a halt, it was a brutal wake-up call. Germany was stung, and they responded with terrifying speed. They didn't just casually take the lead back. They ruthlessly killed all of Curaçao's momentum. One answering goal, then another right behind it. By the time the halftime whistle finally blew, Germany had completely reestablished this dominant hold on the match. That brief dream of an upset? Yeah, it was fading fast. Which brings us to the next phase of the match. The masterclass in second-half domination. So, how exactly did they do it? Here's how the German team systematically dismantled Curaçao's defense piece by piece. First, their wingers used just pure, unadulterated speed to shatter the defensive lines out wide. Second, the midfield capitalized on all that new space, dropping these pinpoint, perfectly accurate through balls right into the danger zones. And third, the German defenders actually pushed high up the pitch to support the relentless attack. It was a perfectly synchronized offensive machine. And the results of that tactical masterclass? Devastating. It was just a relentless avalanche of goals. The scoring started early in the second half, making it 4-1. Then mid-half, 5-1. Late half, 6-1. Despite Curaçao playing with absolutely all their heart, the sheer quality of the German side was just completely overwhelming. Finally, in the closing moments, that last goal permanently edged history. Germany 7, Curaçao 1. Let's move on to look at the match impact, which served as a terrifying warning for the rest of the teams. The immediate rewards for Germany here were pretty obvious, right? They secured 3 crucial points and bagged a massive advantage in goal difference. But the true tournament impact goes way deeper than that. By registering the single biggest victory of the tournament so far, Germany sent a totally intimidating warning to every other title contender out there. The message was loud and clear. We are not here to joke around.
So when the dust finally settled on this historic clash, we were left with this really beautiful dual narrative. Germany unequivocally won the match, absolutely proving they are fearsome contenders for the trophy. But despite the brutally heavy scoreline, Curaçao absolutely won our hearts. The entire global football community saluted them for scoring their first World Cup goal on the biggest stage imaginable.
Which leaves us all with the ultimate question. Can Germany actually win the FIFA World Cup 2026? After shifting from a team under immense pressure to this ruthless, tactical juggernaut, they clearly have the firepower. So does this 7-1 blowout solidify them as the undisputed favorites? Or is there another massive twist waiting for us in this tournament? Let me know what you think. Drop your predictions and tactical takeaways in the comments below. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.